Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. What's going on, everybody? Hope you all are having a wonderful, wonderful day. My name is Amir. You can call me MantiKore. Welcome to the first episode of the ManTiCORTEX Podcast. If you guys are on the stream watching right now, we'll be really appreciative if you could drop a like. So you can, so we can push the stream out to more people. And today I'm joined by one of my good friends, Aswad Khan. My guy, why don't you go introduce yourself?
Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Aswad, and I am the president of the Association of International Medical Students at Medical University Pleven in Bulgaria. Today I'm hosting a Names Welfare podcast about mental health and its stigma amongst men, the importance of speaking about these issues, and tips to lead a happier and healthier life. I'm joined today by Amir Kazazi, or maybe I should say I'm joining him, as he's kindly invited me to his amazing home
pleasure,
and onto his channel. Amir is a sixth-year medical student, but he's not your typical doctor. He's a rapper, he's a personal trainer, he's a YouTuber with 9.5k subscribers, he's a businessman, he's got a master's in biomedical science, and he is an advocate for mental health. So since connecting with Amir on social media, I've always appreciated the way he so openly speaks about mental health, especially his personal journey. So as a familiar face to the students of our university, and of course to Amir's large online community, I thought he was the perfect guy to speak to. So we want to show you today that the people you least expect, like Amir, like a stereotypically masculine, extroverted, successful guy, successful person, has been through the same things or felt the same way that you may have at times. So anyone can fight an internal battle, regardless of how they're perceived. So by the end of this podcast, we hope you'll feel a little more understood, a little more heard, and a little less alone. So depression can be isolating. It can make us feel like the battle's a solo fight. So we'll share our own experiences with low mood to support you, to inspire you, and to help guide you towards taking a kind approach towards yourselves and towards tomorrow. So with no further introduction, it's a pleasure to be here with Amir and speak to his YouTube community. So Amir, thanks for having me over. And before we get started, last little thing is I just want to commend you for your courage to open up with us and open up to everyone here. And all in all, just an effort to make life better for others.
Thank you so much, Aswad. It's a pleasure to have you here, man. Honestly, as you know, I'm quite open when it comes to talking about my own struggles when it comes to mental health and how I battled depression and things like that. So for me to be doing this podcast with you and Ames is honestly something that I hold close to my heart, because I know hopefully someone somewhere out there, especially in the uni, is gonna watch this and hopefully know that they're not alone when it comes to the struggles that they're facing as students, especially in a foreign country away from family. So yeah, man, I'm excited. Awesome, I'm excited,
man. Like, I think a big part of this is there's a lot of people could have spoken to. We could have spoken to professionals and whatnot, but I think there's a different touch in having someone whose face you see around, someone who's quite active on socials, someone at uni, someone who literally people may have not known if they're not connected with you on socials, going through all these things. So we're going to dive into it today. So just before introducing Amir's mental health story, sorry, I keep saying
no, bro, it's fine.
The Pakistani
Amir, yes, absolutely fine by me.
So I just want to touch on some details about depression. So the brain's chemistry is looked at in depression and low mood. There may be a balance of neurotransmitters, specifically serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine. And these affect feelings of happiness and they affect feelings of pleasure. So most people experience depression at some point in their life. It affects 1 in 4 people in the world at any given time. And depression rates are higher in women than they are in men. But suicide rates are higher in men than they are in women. This, obviously it doesn't mean women's suicide rates are low, but just with regards to men, as that's part of what we're discussing today, is that it relates to men having low access rates. And what that means is that they don't access support until it's too late or until they're in a stage of crisis. And also men's low recorded depression rates have a direct correlation with them being undiagnosed, and that's simply just because they're not seeking help. So
Exactly.
Amir, we're gonna start with your story, but I know we've got going through your social media and stuff. You've spoken about it for, you're 27 now, right?
Yeah.
So you've spoken about it since I think you were 21 on there.
Yeah.
So we're gonna
28,
dive into
28,
it a
yeah,
bit. And you choose if you want to go from younger days or just start with
Of
now.
course.
Whatever you want, man. Just
Of course.
I'll let you start through.
So the thing with social media is this is something that I've always, talked to people about. I choose to show you what I want to show you on social media. So whoever comes on my Instagram page and looks at my posts and reads the captions, they'll be like, oh, this guy is he's got his life together and is inspirational and motivational, blah blah blah. But they don't really know exactly the struggles that I go through still to this day. Honestly, like weeks ago and stuff, still to this day I go through a lot of hardships, but I'm a lot better at managing how I react to things and how I go through these hard situations, these obstacles. Whereas when I was younger, I was in a very dark spot, like especially moving from Iran to the UK, right? Being exposed to a whole new culture, a whole new world, I should say, not being able to speak a word of English.
By the way, how old were you?
I was 9 or 10 years old when I moved to the UK. Now my family had a fairly comfortable life, but we had our issues, right? We had our problems, like every family. But our family, it's different, right? So I was exposed to a lot of things growing up, and from the age of 8 I had to become a man, right? I had to be a son, a daughter, sometimes a husband, a brother to my mother, right, raising me, which really affected me as a person growing up. So I didn't really have a childhood, right? Like my roommate the other day was talking to me, asking me like, what cartoons did you watch growing up? I'm like, nothing. Like I didn't have those things, because my coping mechanism was playing a little bit of football, listening to some rap music, right? So when I moved to the UK, and my family was struggling because, as I said, we left a comfortable life, my mental health started to slowly deteriorate over time. Like I started getting bullied in school because, honest to God, I was the only foreigner in my class, right? It was a fairly white school, Catholic school, right? And I felt I didn't feel like excluded. I didn't feel like I was fitting in. So I started getting bullied, and and that started affecting my mental health even more. And a bunch of stuff happened in school, which led to, and on top of family issues and things that were happening back home and in the UK, honestly, at some point I legit had thoughts of ending my own life. Like I know I'm talking about this openly, and it's the second time I'm talking about this, but it was not a fun time, because I grew up to to be strong. Like I wanted to be strong for my mom, sort of be her rock when I was 8, right? And I didn't really have anyone per se to be my rock, because when I was going through these things, my family would notice something's not normal. But again, Iranian family, old school, I didn't really have anyone to talk to me and ask me how things are going until things got really bad. And then people were like, are you okay? Like, what's going on? And then again, being a guy, it's completely different, because you grow up learning to isolate yourself, to keep emotions suppressed, keep everything inside, and not talk to anyone about it, because God forbid you show a little bit of vulnerability, then you're not masculine, you're a little girl, you're why you crying like a girl. I've gone through all of these things. So when,
just to mention it, actually, I didn't mention this in the statistics about men and women, but also in ethnic communities, again, there's much lower rates of like reported depression essentially, because there's just no really awareness of mental health in, when I say ethnic communities, I mean like Asian,
of course, yeah,
and all that communities. But also just generally, even let's say in the UK, like South Asian wise anyway, a lot less families report these things, you know. So it's less spoken about than maybe it is in Western communities.
Yeah, of course. And then again, being Iranian, right, growing up in that culture, men do not even talk about their problems. I've never seen like
men even more in it, like men plus like
Yeah.
ethnic men.
Oh yeah.
That's
Oh
even
yeah.
more. It's even more.
They do not even mention it to their close friends. I think I haven't even seen my dad show that much vulnerability to us. Maybe like once or twice. And again, it's normal. As a guy, you gotta be the rock of the family. You gotta, you know, be the backbone of you know, the family. But for me, as an 8-year-old, 9-year-old, right, I wanted to have someone to sort of guide me through these emotions, but then I didn't necessarily, I don't want to say I didn't have anyone, because my mother was there, but let's say in my circle of friends, I didn't have anyone to talk to open up. And because, bro, one of the reasons I started doing rap music was because it became like a form of therapy to me, right? I still have like a notebook of just raps that I wrote.
All your lyrics are quite heavy.
Thank you.
Like I mean, they are heavy. They are quite deep.
Yeah.
And you've literally said that how much that helped you through.
Yeah.
Just speaking all this stuff. So yeah, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. So I said in one of my songs, I didn't know what I would do if I didn't have this rap thing, right?
Yeah.
And it's true, because listening to Eminem introduced me to this whole world and allowed me to learn to not keep things inside and put things on paper. And the difference that it made, bro, saved my life.
When did you start writing?
I started writing. I actually started writing in Farsi and in English when I was 14, 15, right? But I wasn't recording anything, right? I was just writing just to get things out, because I didn't want to go to my school's counselor or the principal or whatever, right, and talk to them, or talk to my mom, because she's already got her own problems, and then me adding on to it, she's gonna like worry even more. Because my mom, you know, God bless her,
was that because of, just to add in, was that because of worrying them?
Yeah.
Or was that because of you didn't want to share that side as well?
Both.
Okay.
Because I knew by me opening up, it would worry my mom, my mother, and my whole family even more.
Yeah.
And I also didn't want to look like the type of person, the 14, 15-year-old that can't really, you know, look after himself. And I think all of this actually started when something happened to me when I was a child, right? And I had PTSD for a while, and I started going through depression when I was 8. And one of the reasons we actually left the country was that thing, right? Plus other things. My dad got a job abroad, blah blah blah. So I wasn't new to this whole world. I got exposed to it at a very young age, but I didn't know how to manage it until 14, 15, 16, and then I got into gym and fitness, and because the thing is with guys, right, as you know, we don't really express our feelings, right? Even with my closest friends, we don't sit and talk about how we felt or what problems we're having, because as a man, you're supposed to fix the problems by yourself.
You're typically meant to.
Typically, right? As society would say, you gotta deal with it yourself, right? So when I what was I saying? Yeah, when I started growing up and realized that I need to find an outlet to be able to manage these problems, gym and rap music came together and helped me until now. Like, you know, I've been studying for the past 11 years and gone through different levels of hardships and obstacles, and without these two things, as cliche as it sounds, you know, I wouldn't be here. So yeah, that's a long story short. Long story short about you know, how I got here. And the other thing that I really want to tell people, especially as guys, is, you know, society always keeps telling us to be masculine, right? Be masculine, be a man. And after a while, even those guys that at one point in their lives wanted to be more vulnerable, they start to stigmatize themselves, right? They start to make fun of the people that are maybe a little bit vulnerable, or maybe going through some stuff, because it's not supposed, you know, it's not masculine for you to cry or to vent or something like that. So yeah, I mean, here I am with the whole mental health. Still not stable, but we're getting there.
It's a journey in it, man. It's also like, just with depression to touch on, got a few things listed here actually. So I think before you do that, I want to give a shout out to everyone in the chat, from Vaishak and Anya, Chalcedoni, Muhammad, Joanna, Kenza, DJ Toro, Anfo, Artie. Guys, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. Hope you're enjoying the podcast. If the audio is good or not good, let me know. If the background music is loud or not, let me know. I'm open to all the, you know, the feedbacks that you guys give us. But go on. Did you ever seek professional help?
A little bit, yeah, but I found it completely useless.
Okay.
And that was me at the age of 14. My mother actually had a therapist that she was going to, right? Because, as I said, we were all having problems. And she was actually very nice, very attentive, she was a very good listener, as you're supposed to be, right? So I would attend some of these sessions, and I would be like, this is good, you know, like maybe I should give this a try. So I gave it a try for 1 or 2 sessions, but I didn't really like it, man. Like, I felt like the person that I was talking to didn't really know me, right? I knew myself, and I knew what the issues I'm facing stem from. I knew the source, right? She doesn't know the source, and I know why I'm having all these feelings and stuff. So I didn't really want to continue the whole therapy, even though it's very useful to a lot of people. I'm not saying therapy is bad or whatever. Actually, it saves a lot of lives, and people can really benefit from it. So for me at that age, maybe now, sure.
I was gonna say, do you reckon if you saw the same, let's say same therapist, just for the sake of it, do you reckon it would have been different now? Oh yeah. I'm a lot more mature. My headspace is different. But as a kid, do you reckon it relates to you being, and just to pluck your mind a bit, do you think any of that relates to maybe you being more confident now than maybe you were back then, to things going better? Because maybe just asking, you'll feel more open, comfortable speaking about stuff, because you said when you were younger you didn't. Do you reckon now, even with a therapist, that level of communication would be better?
1000%. I know for a fact that if I was having the same emotions that I'm having right now back then, with this level of communication, with me being open, having a therapist would change my life, like, drastically. But back then, didn't really do it. And I would put myself in such a dark spot by, you know, I could have gone to my family and sat them down and be like, listen, this is how I'm feeling, blah blah blah, I need some help. But then again, I didn't do it because of what we mentioned, you know, especially Middle Eastern parents. They worry, especially if you're an immigrant, you've come to a different country. They worry extra because they don't want their child to enter the wrong route or start doing wrong things. So I didn't want to worry them by opening up, and maybe I should have. But
depression wise, what were your, because you're saying that you seek therapy when you said when you were 14, if I'm right, like for those 2 sessions. So essentially it's more that you've related feelings of depression, I'm sure, but just like, what were your symptoms that you would classify that you felt anyway? What were the things that made you think, okay, I was depressed, or I am depressed, or at any phase? What were the things that you had?
I was honestly just, let me tell you how I felt, right? This might sound weird, but I felt like there was a spider web on my brain.
Yeah.
Right? It was like suppressing me from in all aspects of my life. I couldn't communicate properly, couldn't sleep well, wouldn't eat well. At school I was just going just to go, right? And just my state of mind was completely in a horrible place. That's all I can remember, honestly. But the whole spider web on my brain was something that I was feeling back then. It would stop me from living, because I was always thinking about why I'm feeling this way, or why couldn't life be a little bit better? Why did this person say this to me, or why did this happen to me? Stuff like that, right? So yeah, that's all I could remember.
So symptoms wise, and like just different types, I've just again jotted a few bits down. If you see me looking, it's because I'm reading a few bits.
It's fine, dude.
Want it to be accurate.
Yeah.
So a few different types of depression. You know, people have single episodes. There's mild depressive disorder, moderate depressive disorder, and severe depression. So I've got a list of symptoms from the 10th edition of the International Classification of Diseases. Just mentioning these things in case anyone's watching this who maybe hasn't read into it and wants to think, oh, I relate to this. So before I list some of these symptoms, the more symptoms you have really present with, we'll say that you've, a more severe case of depression. So symptoms present such as low mood, low energy and enjoyment, both of these you mentioned, reduced activity, reduced concentration and interest even in things you may enjoy, tiredness, people may have disturbed sleep, both opposites of a lack of appetite, increased appetite, reduced self-competence, just feelings of low and reduced self-esteem, feelings of guilt, which I'll get into because it's something you've mentioned in some of your posts, and feelings of worthlessness, again, similarly speaking. Then you've got physical symptoms. Medically, that's the term somatic symptoms. So, patients may have psychomotor retardation, loss of pleasurable feelings, weight loss again, and reduced and lack of libido, which is like sexual feeling. So for mild depressive disorder, these patients will present with 2 or more of these presenting symptoms. With medium depressive disorder, these patients will have a difficulty in daily functioning with 4+ presenting symptoms. In severe depression, these patients will present with several symptoms, including low self-esteem, guilt, worthlessness, and they may have suicidal ideologies, which again, you mentioned that's a big, I don't want to use the term red flag, but just generally, if anybody says that's something you need to keep an eye out for. Anything self-harm related, anything suicidal. And also the patients with severe depression usually present with somatic symptoms. So anything else I've mentioned that triggered any other symptoms you may have had, just out of curiosity?
Low activity, man. Like as I said,
you're quite an energetic guy.
And when I was, before all this stuff that happened to me, right? When I was in Iran, I was doing kickboxing. I was a national champion in kickboxing at a young age. Nice. I was a swimmer.
That's amazing, by the way.
Thank you, man. Thank you, bro. I was a swimmer, right? So I was quite active. Like my life had a purpose. And then the thing that happened to me, and I feel like a part of me just died. Do you know what I mean? And honest to God, I've never talked about, like, I don't want to go in detail and talk about what happened and stuff, but I never mentioned this before. Like I never used the thing that happened to me in the past to ask people to sympathize with me or empathize with me or whatever. But at some point I realized that maybe it is useful to mention it, because maybe there are young people that are watching it that have gone through something similar, maybe worse. So yeah, I was quite active, and then over time it's just reduced.
I think that's a big thing generally. Like, I want to keep it on the topic of mental health, which we're speaking about. But people, it's like you said, when people speak about stuff, we always say, like, you know, everyone's saying it's okay to not be okay, it's okay to speak about things. But when people do, people say stuff. Right?
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
is, you know, it's completely counterproductive, and it's just hypocritical.
Yeah.
So you're saying now that, you know, you're speaking about stuff, which is good, and you said, you know, even if it's not a case where you're doing it, or anyone who does it is doing it for sympathy or likes or whatever it is. It is literally a case where if one person watching this gets something out of it, if they can relate and maybe relate to your story, learn a bit, that's what we're doing this for. That's what it's here for. Yeah,
absolutely. Everyone in the chat, you guys are amazing. Nat, as a woman, I hope I'm welcome to join. Of course you're welcome to join. It's a pleasure to have you, to support your husband. That is honestly amazing. Mela, great personal touch to such a broad but important topic. Lexi, love this kind of segment so much. Kenza, sorry,
I'm
reading the chat.
By the way. Oh. Kenza, yeah, that's my sister.
Okay, Kenza. I can't see. Kenza, thank you so much for being here. This is so wholesome. There's far too much stigma around mental health in ethnic minority communities as a whole, even more so in men. Thanks for talking about this so openly. Thank you so much for being here. Rhiannon, loving this. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Guys, this is incredible, man.
Like, important question at the end.
Lexi, except the depression, have you ever had panic attacks? Panic attacks.
Anxiety as well.
I've had anxiety.
Yeah.
But I have never had panic attacks. Okay. When I would perform on stage, like when I would, perform some rap songs, and before I went on stage, I would have, I would panic, but it wasn't really a panic attack, because I know you could get panic attacks out of nowhere, but I didn't really have that. Diana, how do I know if my 12-year-old is depressed? He seems very angry and defensive most of the time. That's a very good question, man. So to know how your 12-year-old is depressed, as we mentioned, the symptoms of depression, right? You gotta see if his if his activity level has changed.
Can I jump in?
Of course, yeah.
I would say, Diana, best thing to do would be see a psychologist.
Yeah.
Even more so, as in you can see your local GP and stuff for sure, but do ask to be referred to a psychologist, because even generally speaking, I think the psychology modules of medical school aren't as thorough as they should be, and hopefully with all the awareness we're talking about, they will become more well studied, etc. So that's what I'd say. I'd really see your local GP, and do ask to be referred to a psychologist, a child psychologist, and they'd be the best people to get to the bottom of that and help you.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, so far this is going well, man. I'm really enjoying this. So before I started reading the chat, what were we talking about?
I can jump into some stuff. Yeah. So you posted a video about mental I'd like to. Amazing.
Okay.
Amazing. Okay. So you posted a video about mental health. It's like a 12-minute video, just speaking to the camera, and you were speaking about mental health after you had surgery. I think it was last year.
Oh yeah.
And actually, I saw you. I remember I saw you in the gym, and you were just saying that I'm gonna be in the best shape I've been in last year. Kudos, you look good.
Thank you, man. I'm still working on it.
Yeah, but you look good. You stuck to it.
I appreciate that.
But yeah, I can go into things you've said, but I'll let you speak about it. How was it for you?
Sure. So for those of you that don't know, I had a little emergency surgery. It's about 2 years ago now, right? 2 years ago. Again, it happened in a foreign country, away from family. Not even friends could visit me in the hospital. I was stuck in this was at the peak of COVID, right? In March 2020. So I was stuck in the hospital for 10 days by myself, no support, nothing. So that started after like day 2 or 3, started really messing with my head. And then when everything was done, I came back and I just looked completely different, right? My eyes were sunken in. I didn't feel good. I couldn't even walk. properly, and I've accepted it. I was like, okay, I need to give my body a few months to fully recover, right? Because thank God it wasn't a massive thing, but yeah, I've accepted that I need to give myself time to recover. So I went back to the UK, and I didn't really overeat or anything, but I was just not moving. Even though I was eating healthy stuff, I wasn't moving. So my recovery went well, but I gained a lot of weight. Like, I could not fit in this t-shirt. I couldn't fit in my trousers. I didn't feel good. I didn't look good, right? And that really started to mess with my mental health. I wasn't really talking to anyone. I wasn't on social media. I didn't want to do YouTube. I didn't want to do music, nothing, right? Because again, I was fat in my eyes.
Can I jump in on that, right?
Yeah.
Again, mental health side of things, when people say people are speaking about X, Y, Z, people might be like, they may look at you and be like, what's he crying about? He looks great, all right? But then everyone has their own things for themselves,
of
right?
course, yeah.
Everyone has their own level, like to what they want to be at and what makes them happy and whatever it is. So just on another side, if someone is speaking about their own side, you may look at Amir and be like, but why is he complaining? But that's his side of stuff. Like, if it affects him, if these are things which affect his mental well-being, then they are, and just listen. But anyway, just want to mention that it's the same thing.
That's a great point.
People critiquing stuff where they shouldn't. But
yeah, that's a great point. So yeah, man, like I wasn't feeling good, and I came back here to Bulgaria in the summer and went on a little holiday. Again, I did not want to take any pictures, right, at all. And like I knew what I need to do to fix the problem. Yeah. But I was so caught up in my own feelings and overthinking and asking questions, why, right? Yeah. I was just asking, why did this happen to me? I ate healthy food. I didn't smoke. I didn't drink. I didn't do anything harmful to my body. And then I had to undergo surgery. Like, I was just asking stupid questions, right? Complaining for no reason. And I started going to the gym eventually, right? In June, August or something, right? And didn't see any progress. Kept going, didn't see any progress. Because I was impatient. Because I knew, like, bro, I was 95 kg and lean. Then I went to the hospital. And then I came back with more weight that came off my body. And then after the recovery period, I was 114 kg. I don't know how much that is in pounds, but you can convert it, bro.
What's your usual weight, just to get?
My usual weight between 95, 98. Yeah. Right. The weight that I want to get to is 90. 90 is perfect for me. And I know, like, I know a lot of people that watch my content, you know, they're into fitness and stuff, and they enjoy when I talk about the fitness side of things. The weight gain really affected me, and I know a lot of people, you know, might go through the same thing and allow themselves to undergo just weird mental health issues because of the weight that they gained, because everyone gained weight in COVID, right? During COVID. So just want to stick to the mental health side of things. I stopped asking why and started doing after a while, because I accepted it. I accepted that this is who I am. I went and bought a lot of baggy clothes. I was like, this is who I am. I'm going to fix this. And I gave myself some time. I gave myself a deadline. Like, by this time, I want to be at this weight. I want to lose this much by this time. And I started doing it. And I started taking baby steps, which slowly started to improve my mental health. Right? Maybe I didn't see results after the first week, but I saw some change after the second week, and then it was like a snowball effect, right? Yeah. It helped me get back on my feet. It helped me fit into my old clothes again and just feel good about myself. And it's really amazing how gaining a little bit of weight could really shift the way you look at life and just look at things in general. So yeah, that's how I got here. But still, it's a work in progress, man. I have a long way to go.
Fair enough, man.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So like, actually, quite a lot of that relates to symptoms again. Like obviously, you've always been really on fitness, and you've stayed away from unhealthy habits, and it affected you a lot because for you, the type of person you are, like even at uni, I've seen you've done like personal training and whatnot.
Yeah.
So like for you, I'm sure I can even just on my side understand how much that must have affected you.
Yeah.
You said that you obviously the weight loss and weight gain, again, two symptoms we've spoken about. You mentioned in the video that you felt bad about yourself. You complained to God and yourself about like how this happened. You felt low. You were sleeping all day. You said your mental health was deteriorating, and you said your only distraction was speaking to people. And also an interesting one I want to touch on briefly.
Yeah.
Keeping it with mental health, but you said how social media made you feel worse. I think that's an interesting thing to mention.
Oh yeah, social media definitely made me feel worse. Horrible.
And I'm guessing your feed is very fitness focused as well.
Yeah, bro. I had
on the MantiKore fitness.
Yeah,
page
I had a
right?
fitness page, right, dedicated to just fitness, which I haven't posted anything on for years now. And when the surgery thing happened, I shut down my online business. I completely removed the website and all the work I put into it because I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't know if you could relate to this, but where I come from, there's something called the evil eye, right?
Nazar,
right? There's something called the evil eye. And after this happened, my mom was like, see, you were putting yourself out there, you were showing your body to people, they gave you the evil eye and this happened. I'm like, you know what, maybe she's making sense. So I stopped doing the fitness thing. And anytime, as I said, I was sleeping all day, so I was just going through Instagram and I would see other people younger than me, people that I know, people that I don't know, that are progressing. Like throughout these 6 months that I was recovering, they made a lot of progress. Like I was in better shape. I was in a better shape than them before the surgery, and now after 6 months, I'm in the worst shape of my life. And the one thing that really bothered me was how years of hard work could literally just disappear within 5-6 months. And looking at people posting about, their workouts and how much calories they're eating and before and after picture, I was like, bro, I don't want to look at this. Like, it was just making me feel even worse because it was like a feedback loop, like a negative feedback loop. I didn't want to do anything, so I would go on Instagram. I would see people's posts on Instagram, then I would feel bad about myself, and then would repeat the cycle. And this is another thing. It's just not. It's not even. Actually, a lot of women go through this a lot more on Instagram, which I've spoken to a lot of girls that have suffered from anxiety, not feeling good about themselves, and feeling depressed because they look at other girls on social media. So social media could be a really, really good place, but it could also be horrible.
Good place because I guess we wouldn't be here.
Yeah, for sure.
Good place on that side, but obviously on the other side there's two
horrible
sides to it, of course. So like if you just wanted to touch on self-harm, which depression related, so a lot of these things is actually presented in yourself. So like patients or people physically abusing themselves, self-destructive behavior like not eating, overeating, substance abuse. Again, just for everyone, look out for these things with the people around you. Do look out. They're like
absolutely.
I don't know if I'm not meant to use the term red flags. I was thinking about this anyway.
No, you could. Red flag.
Yeah, red flag.
Red flag is a red flag. Yeah.
So then just a few things of your friends and signs your friend may be experiencing low mood. These things include isolation. If you just stop seeing a friend around, just look into why. Ask your friend why. Social withdrawal, or obviously on the opposite side, it may be over socializing, over going out with people who party and drink and whatnot. That's a big one if they're over, drinking more than usual and that sort of thing. So just generally behaving differently than normal. So like I said, becoming a bit more or less outgoing. Yeah. So Amir, I want to ask then, actually, 1 second. Yeah, okay, fine. So Amir, you mentioned this in the video, but again, I'll ask you just off the top of your head first, and just generally speaking. So what are your tips to improve your mental health, or things that helped when you've been going through lower patches?
I mean, I could only speak for myself and what worked for me.
Just for you, yeah.
For me,
just for you.
and I think a lot of people would benefit from this, right? For me, a couple of things really helped me improve just my state of mind, right? Because I believe depression is a state of mind, right? This is what I believe, right? Because I went through it, and I had to do a few things. First, I had to do some reflecting and realize where the source of the problem is, right? Am I feeling depressed because this person said something horrible to me, or am I feeling depressed because I look bad, right? I needed to find out exactly where it was. And then I had to find an outlet, because again, with depression and anxiety and just low self-esteem and mental health, a lot of people, as you said, start doing destructive things, right? They start drinking, doing drugs. So humans, we all have addictive personalities, right? So I had to find an outlet that would allow me to have a purpose, have a path, right? Because my life was all over the place. So for me, it was writing down my feelings in rap format, going to the gym, and actually talking about my problems. Maybe not to a therapist, maybe not to my family, but writing it down on a piece of paper. And as cliche as it sounds, it actually helped me tremendously. Just getting that huge load of emotion off of my chest and just putting it on paper. Maybe no one's ever gonna read this, but it's not on my chest anymore. It's on a piece of paper now, right? That really helped me, man. Like, I can't stress that enough. For me, it really helped. And somewhere in the UK, I do have a notebook that I found years later with all these lyrics. Sometimes I would write them down just like a journal. So those really helped. And again, having an outlet to allow yourself to focus on the task that's at hand, improving your mental health, which is, right? So for me, was fitness. There's something about going to the gym, and because technically weightlifting is you harming your muscles, right? You're destroying muscles. You have to put yourself in that mindset, like, I'm going to destroy myself at the gym, right? So I could have easily gone out and abused alcohol and drugs and stuff, but I went to the gym, and the gratification that I got from lifting weights, from sweating, just getting the heart rate up, blood flow going, made me feel so good about myself. Even though it's like a meme, like things are burning behind you, but you're feeling good about yourself for that brief moment. And then over time, it, again, like the snowball effect, over time it allowed me to not even care as much about the problems that I can't control. So I would just go to the gym, do my thing, and then I would actually, it would help me sort of put my life together, like organize things. Because before I got into fitness, I was always overthinking. Like, I would overthink, and then wouldn't get anything done. So after I started going to the gym, it would I got to a point where I would wake up at 5 a.m, do my workout, go to uni, finish, come home, go to work, come back, be a good son, be a brother, be something. Like, my life had a purpose. And after a while, my mental health, I started seeing the good things in life. I didn't start feeling sorry for myself that much anymore. I started becoming the glass half full type of guy, right? So yeah, I highly recommend that you guys watching. For you, it might be reading a book, it might be listening to podcasts, it might be something that it would bring you joy. For me, it was working out, right? Now, working out is not for everyone, right? Not a lot of people are into it. So I highly recommend that you find your outlet, find that anchor and stick to it and watch the magic happen. After a while, you're gonna feel like Superman. Trust me. So yeah, that's what I would recommend.
So there's a thing called the 5 ways to well-being, and these are 5 ways to increase and maintain your mood. So just interestingly, like relating what you said to that, you spoke about exercise, which is one of them. So there's exercise, learning, connecting, taking notice, and giving, which I'll explain all of them in a bit more detail. So exercise, of course, you mentioned. Learning, which is making time to learn about new things. You've mentioned that, you know, you were learning more with fitness. That was your way of going about it. And obviously music and, you know, all the stuff you're doing. There's so much, I don't even know where to start. There's so much you're doing. So learning. Thirdly, connecting, which is communicating with other people, building relationships with people. You mentioned that one thing that helped you was just speaking to people on social media. You've spoken on social media about how you use Twitch, especially a lot at that time, which is like, maybe you can explain Twitch better than me. So
Twitch is a live streaming platform. Most of you watching this probably know or don't, but I used to stream a lot on Twitch, and it allowed me to so I'm really into gaming, so I was streaming gaming, right? And it allowed me to connect to a lot of people from around the world. I would have people watching me from Iran, people watching me from Argentina, and then I realized that maybe I'm not alone in this whole journey. And then when I didn't really switch to YouTube, but I took YouTube more seriously. I started seeing even more growth and more people that are on the same path as me. So definitely connecting with people really helped with improving my mental health. 100%.
So like a few other things, so the 4th and 5th ways to well-being. So you've got taking notice, which is taking notice of the things around you, the people around you. Maybe, you know, if you go on a walk, enjoying the environment, or taking notice of other people's feelings, or it can be anything. It's very broad. And then the last one is giving, which can be giving people time, or giving time to anything, giving attention. So like helping others, like you know, doing charity work or whatever it may be. So just those 5 things for anyone. Just always remember, if you're feeling a bit down, exercise, try learning something new, connect with people, building relationships, whether they're building relationships, new relationships, or building on old relationships, whatever it is. Taking notice and giving. So those are 5 things. And a 6th unofficial one is also just eating well. Of course, always helps. So yeah, interesting how a lot of things you mentioned actually relate to those directly. So you made a video about a very important thing that you felt for your mental health was not caring about others' opinions. So this is, you know, it's a broad topic. I think we've kind of touched on it a bit with the thing of content. But anyways, I want you to just expand on this fully, please, and explain, you know, what you mean by that. Explain how you can do that, because it's so easy. I remember I read a book, I think Mark, I can't remember his surname. It's what is it called? How to not give a you know the book, right?
I think so.
F-bomb. Just saying that in case my mum and sister are here. But isn't it? And it's quite big, it's quite broad, but interesting. But I'm gonna just
man, that's actually you know, a major factor when it comes to mental health of people that are active on social media, right? Because as a young age, I was always into, you know, putting myself out there and growing an audience in one way, shape, or form. And when I was younger, I didn't know that would come with some negative things. So on YouTube, it's actually,
by the way, said by everyone who grows an online platform.
Bro.
No one's ready for that.
I know. Because I've been on YouTube since 2009, right? And I have multiple channels, so I got used to the negative YouTube comments because it's fine. But on Instagram, it started, you know, kind of getting to me, because I started hearing things from family members, like distant family members back home that would say things, and even in my workplace or in the unis that I went to in the UK, some of that, honest to God, I believe, like a lot of you watching this, you're probably, you know, really interested and extremely good at something, right? Whether it's your work, whether it's your family relationships, whether it's whatever the case may be. And when you're good at something and you show interest and potential in something, you're always going to have people telling you that you're not good. As an example, I really got into rap music, the English rap music, when I was in high school. And I started, you know, writing some raps. I started, like, you know, doing remixes of some Eminem and Jay-Z songs. And I started getting people telling me that, you know, you're, you know, you suck, you can't rap. Then again, it was a form of bullying. And I had two options, right? At the start, for maybe like 20 minutes, right? I was like, maybe I'm not good. Maybe they're right. Maybe, you know, maybe I don't know my own potential. Maybe I should just stick to something else. But then after that, I was like, honestly, the story of Eminem, I keep coming back to his story, which, you know, some people may not agree with his music, but anytime I go through something difficult in my life, I always remember his story. I'm like, if he could get through what he got through, I can also do it. So I was like, you know, I don't care about what you're saying. I'm gonna do me, right? I'm gonna do what I like, what I desire, and we'll see what happens. So the best way that I dealt with that was just I don't know, like fading their voices when they were talking, right? Because at the end of the day, you have to take the steps in your life. No one's gonna do it for you, right? It doesn't matter if the things that you want to do, your family don't agree with, or your friends don't agree with, right? It does not matter. You have to do what you like, because you don't want to be on your deathbed and think to yourself, oh, I wish I did this, or I wish I did that. Because honestly, I know a lot of people, especially back home in Iran, that are doing, for example, engineering because their parents told them to do it, or because they wanted to do medicine or something, and someone told them that you're not good at it, so they completely shifted career paths. But the people that tell you can't do something or say negative things about you, they're they're definitely insecure about themselves, 100%. And they project that on you.
100%.
There's one thing to be jealous of someone, and there's another thing to be envious, right? So when I look at all these successful people like The Rock or Nusret, I'm really into business. So when I look at them and look at how they got to where they got, I could either start hating on them, like, oh, this guy with all this money and success, I hate him, or be like,
oh, he's a genius,
or damn, man, like, or get inspired, like,
100%,
now I want to work hard. So
100%.
Yeah, like I highly recommend, especially because I know there are a lot of girls watching this, especially to the women, because do not pay attention to anything society tells you and the standard that you face when you go on social media, and the guys as well. So just take a step back and focus on your goals and yourself and what makes you happy, and other people's opinions aren't really valid, aren't really important. They hold no value in my book. So anyways, I'm rambling on, man.
But no, actually, I'm gonna give a few things on that side as well. So like, let's say for you, your range of content is very diverse. Like, you know, obviously some people go with the targeting one specific audience you have in some areas, but also just very diverse. So say like, I think that's a good thing. I kind of go with the same thing. Obviously mine's not the same as yours. I'm not targeting on a business side, but whatever I do, I just like sharing it. And it's not for, like, again, perception wise, people may be like, oh, why are you doing this? Is it for the other side? No, it's just for yourself. Like, you're just like celebrating it. And let's say for you said when you started rapping, like, people may have said XYZ, but then those opinions aren't the ones that matter. Because let's say if you saw, and I'm sure, same with me, like if I saw someone post their first musical bit of content, I'd be like, oh, I rate you. That's something you're doing that's new that you've not done. I know it probably took a bit to post that out there.
Yeah.
So again, it's all good things. Like the opinions, the negative opinions, if there are any, if they're genuine opinions that you should really consider, they'll be put to you a way that's actually constructive.
Yeah.
The ones that aren't, so just when you're saying about not caring, I think it's very easy to say just don't care about other side of stuff, but just trying to put that into words, maybe that's just something which comes in my mind a bit.
Yeah.
When I speak about that.
Let me say as an example, when, for example, when I put out my first song, right? We're gonna relate that to music.
Yeah.
I was like 15, 16, right? And it was an English rap.
Yeah.
And my English wasn't good back then. I wasn't as lyrical or as crazy. And you know, but it was something that I really loved to do.
Yeah.
Really, really loved to do. When I put it out, back then we had like MySpace and stuff like that, right? I started getting a range of different comments. I had some producers leaving comments, giving actual feedback, like saying, maybe you should mix the vocals like this, or maybe you shouldn't flow like this. And then there were people that would just brutally just tear you apart. And I had to, and the thing is, even now sometimes on YouTube, I would get 2,000 positive comments praising the videos, praising something, but then I will see one negative. Oh my God, I would drop what I'm doing and I would respond to it. And it's something that I need to consciously be aware of, because even now, like, I'm not perfect. I would see a negative comment and I would, as I said, drop everything to reply to it. So how would you not care? It's, you have to build a certain level of confidence in yourself, and you have to be your own supporter and critic, right? You have to, you know, be subjective and sort of criticize yourself, not harshly. Maybe someone says something negative about you, but there's some truth into it. There's some truth to it, and you sort of take it and improve upon yourself when it comes to the next song or next video. But yeah, like, how to not care? It's just, I would just completely ignore those people, because if you're not contributing to me or my life in any way, shape, or form, I don't really care about you. Like, you know, you either, if you don't, what's the thing, if you don't have anything nice to say, then don't say anything. Right? So I kind of look at it like that. If you want to constructively criticize what I'm doing, then I'm here for it. I would sit for hours to talk to you. But if you're just here to just insult,
just say that's rubbish. What's the point?
What's the point?
That didn't help me.
Yeah. So when
tell me this verse wasn't good, or this wasn't good, or whatever it is.
Exactly.
To link this all into the 5 ways of well-being again, just to bring it back. So let's say, for example, Amir, when he started rapping, that ticks the box of learning, making time to learn new things. Also, you know, actually mainly that, but actually no, also connecting. Because say you're sharing your music, you're communicating with people, even that might be not directly speaking, but if you share a video, you're going to get feedback, you'll connect with people with similar interests and all these sorts of things. Ticks 2 boxes, and that's a good thing. Also, like, when you look back at your music from when you started, I'm sure you look back and
man,
yeah, but that's all part of it. If you don't continue with it, you're never going to get, like, at the time, let's say if I post something today, it's because I think it's, like, I'm really happy with it today, but then it's actually part of it. In 5 years time, I should look back at that stuff and be like, oh, I could have done it better. If you don't, there's no growth. So just on that side, just to say about not caring about people's opinions, Amir stresses how important this is on his social media, so just wanted to relate it back to that, and that is, I do agree. I think it's really important. So next thing I've got to ask, what was something you needed when you were experiencing low mood? There's a few questions, I'll tag them together. What did you need from other people, and what was it you would have wanted to hear from loved ones or have loved ones do for you, or whatever it is? Just what could we have done, or the people around you've done?
Honestly,
and by the way, just to say why I'm asking, this applies to again all of you. What can we do for others, and what can others do for us, really?
Yeah.
And what can you do if you know Amir? What can you do when he's feeling down? So yeah, man.
Honestly, like support. Just having a support system in place within family or within your circle of friends, that would go a long way. Like now, I have a very small circle of friends, right? And you know, sometimes, you know, I live with my roommate. Sometimes I'm not my usual self.
Yeah.
And he'll come and ask me like, is everything cool? You all right? Just asking.
It's good, man.
Right? Just asking whether or not you're good or not. Could open a lot of doors to preventing yourself from maybe self-harm, maybe suppressing your feelings to the point where you just don't want to, you know, do anything anymore. So having the right people around you that are willing to ask you that question from time to time, especially as a guy, would go a long way. When I was younger, you know, again, I had my cousins, you know, we were all growing up together, and I've never had my mom and dad like sit me down just to talk to me or how I am, you know, mentally and internally and stuff like that. So I think having people around you that would check up on you every once in a while would be extremely valuable.
So on that, I want to ask, I'll ask you first. How would you have wanted people to check on you? Because I think it's like, you know, we say check up on your friends and whatnot, but how would you want, because it's not easy to approach this. It's not easy to be like, oh mate, like there's one thing that I heard in a podcast, and there's like a ask how are you twice rule. So like, or checking house morning. So like, let's say I'm like, Amir, how are you? You're like, oh, I'm good. It's a normal greeting. No, but like, how are you? How are you?
Yeah.
The second time.
Yeah.
And then it, you know, gives you a trigger to speak. But just generally, that's just something I liked. I thought that was really, really good. I heard that, I was like, oh nice, I'm definitely gonna take that into my own life. But how would you personally have wanted people to be there for you, or how would you want them to ask you and check in on you, and how would you want them to in future as well?
Honestly, I think not just when it comes to me, just people in general, because everyone has their close friends and family members, right? So when you realize that someone is behaving abnormally, or you see a change in how they go about their day-to-day life, and you gotta start picking up on signs when someone is not normal, right? And you I think it would have been very important and very beneficial if I had friends in school. They didn't really care, right? Friends in school would even make things worse. But if it's difficult, because then guys are not really open when it comes to expressing themselves, right? So you pointed out like, how are you? Yeah, I'm all right, but how are you? Like, you have to put emphasis on the type of question you're asking. And I have a very good friend. He's graduating soon, who talks to me every once in a while. I talk to him, and if I see something something that's upsetting him, I bring the question up. I don't just ask him how are you. I'll be like, listen man, I can sense that you're going through something because you're not acting normal. If you want to talk to me, I'm right here. Come up for a cup of coffee or something like that. And I think that's a better way to approaching it than the usual way, especially guys. I've seen people that do this. You see someone that's not behaving the way they used to, and they just go up to them like, hey, how you doing? I'm all right. They just move on. You could tell that person is going through something. And sometimes I know it's difficult for people to open that door, because you don't want to
you don't be if somebody basically doesn't want to share, you don't want to prod,
Yeah,
basically, right?
yeah.
It's
Yeah, but sometimes the right people should do that.
yeah,
The right family members or right
Yeah.
friends should sort of trigger the person or prompt them to open up
Yeah.
and talk. Because bro, I won't lie, there was a guy that I made music with when I was back in Glasgow, right?
Yeah.
He was a rapper, and very open, very outgoing,
yeah,
just a fun, bubbly personality, right? Cracking jokes all the time.
Mm-hmm.
A little while after I came here to study, I saw an RIP post on Facebook.
Sorry, man.
Turns out he just jumped off a bridge because he wasn't, like, nobody asked him.
Yeah, yeah.
Nobody asked him how he's doing,
Yeah.
right? And he kept, same thing with Chester from Linkin Park. He went through so much trauma in his childhood, but nobody really asked him how he's doing.
Yeah.
And you know, then again, some people don't want to be the person that would get them to open up about these things because they feel scared. They feel like, oh, it's not my place to ask you how you're doing. But sometimes you really should, because otherwise, you know, you never know what's going to happen to that person. And it really upset me because you know, the guy who you know, took his own life, he was in his early 20s.
Yeah.
He was in his early 20s, and nobody should go through something like that or be put in a place like that you know make them feel that they have no one to talk to, and you know, that's it, I should just end it all. So I think that answered your question. I think.
Yeah, I'm really sorry about that, by the way. Man.
It's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate because I kind of have been in that situation, but thankfully I had family around me that would sort of pull me back from that idea, even though at points it really sounded appealing. Like, you know, I was like, you know what, there's so much that I'm going through, I might as well just, you know, not go through it at all. But yeah, I didn't want to. It's a weird thing, you know. It's a weird thing to do your family like that, you know. Because I started thinking not just about myself. I'm like, okay, who cares about how you're feeling? If you go through with this, think about the impact it's gonna have on your family.
Yeah.
And you know, so.
Two things to add on that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna touch on how to check on your friends, but something else just came in my head. Again, just listening to a mental health podcast. I'm probably one of those people. Not probably. I am one of those people who. There's a bit of, again, a stigma around. Do you ever take medication, by the way? Any antidepressants or anything?
Briefly, like
I won't go into how I made. I don't want to go into that, but like.
But I didn't like it. I threw it away.
Fair enough. That's like fair enough. But like,
it wasn't for me.
I remember when I was younger. Anyway, I'd hear some people say, you know, antidepressants are bad, or like, you know, any of these meds are bad. And I was like, okay, because it's just what I've heard, right?
Yeah.
And then I was listening to the podcast, and it was like, people say that, you know, taking antidepressants is bad, but on the other side, like, if you need them, what's the side not the side effect? What's the consequence of not taking them if you need them? It's literally death.
Yeah.
It's literally
I
death.
agree.
So I think as soon as I heard that, I was like, okay, I need to change my mind on this.
I agree. Yeah.
So it took me so even that was a bit through med school, to be honest. So just something interesting, stigma on for
Absolutely.
antidepressant medication. So so just we were saying about how to check on your friends. That's why I was kind of like, you know, with your side, you said about just asking them. So just a few things I noted before about the, you know, the "Are you okay?" rule, asking twice. Definitely take that in, guys. I think that's really good. Another one is kind of like how me and Amir are doing today, is just normalize discussing and sharing with your friends how you feel.
Yeah.
Because like, if you talk about how you feel, for example, I know how you feel now, so I'm comfortable asking you, and also it makes you comfortable to ask me.
Yep.
And it just normalizes everything.
Yep.
It's very normal. So like, also then with your friends and your family, like if you're grieving, or going through anything, talk to your friends.
Yeah.
Like, this is like, let's say I'll always say to people, like, when they lose a loved one, I'd be like, talk to your friends, talk to your close people, because this is an opportunity to allow your friends to get closer. You actually see that side of them just on other sides of it. So really normalize that, and just generally speaking, like, there's nothing, again, don't want to be cliche about it's okay to not be okay, but I mean
nothing unmasculine about that.
I mean, just without going on the phrase, but it is okay not to be okay. Like, you know, we talk about if you're ill, or if you've got COVID or whatever it is, if you've broken your leg, we speak about it. Same with medication wise, if you're on other meds, you speak about it. Mental illness is exactly the same thing. It's just you can't visually see it. So just for guys as well, there's nothing wrong with doing that. And also, actually, like you being here today, I think people, not just men, but people openly speaking about mental health or, again, sensitive issues, I really think that's a display of confidence, like genuine confidence and genuine strength, because it's not easy to speak about that stuff. A lot of people, you know, don't, even just on a lighter side, like when you tell stories to your mates and stuff, the mates who tell me they're embarrassing stories, I rate them a bit more, because I know that it's not that deep. You know what I mean, right? So then that's just taking it on a lighter side. But when it comes to all these things, do talk to people about it, and 100%. Even being open about it. I'm so glad you are. It shows. It's a good thing to do. So just normalize it. If you normalize it, other people will normalize it. And maybe, like, you know, if you're speaking about it all the time, then someone watching this might just message you like, Amir, I want to talk about this, and they know that you're there to listen and you understand. So
it's actually on that last point, I've actually had people message me, especially after I put out that video, right? Because, you know, they look at me and they're like, yeah, he's a social, I hate the word influencer, like influencer guy, whatever, on, you know. And then when you talk about your struggles and issues that you faced in the past, and you normalize talking about it, right? You encourage people to also start talking about it. Like, I had people message me and tell me, hey, can I talk to you? I'm having a really bad day. And I'd be like, of course. So I'll get on a phone call with them, or just message them. And it actually happened a lot more after I put out that video. And I completely agree with everything you said. We should normalize this. We shouldn't shy away from talking about our feelings and our issues, because the worst thing you can do is keep things inside and bottle them up. So, like,
it's all good when you mentioned about Chester from Linkin Park. Like, it's all good speaking about these things and posting stuff when things happen. But then just normally we need to just make it more normal, generally speaking. That's literally the best thing we can do. It's good raising awareness, but let's actually take the action as well. Like, you know, you're speaking about stuff. Again, thanks.
Pleasure,
but man. That's what it's about. So just another side to add to that, actually. I mentioned about the fear and embarrassment. I think in men especially, that's quite common. There's, like, you know, you mentioned with men, especially with ethnic men, or people, men and women, but that fear and embarrassment of if you're having a mental health issue, or also if you're going to therapy. Like, I think yesterday I was with one of my mates, I hadn't seen him in a while, and he just told me, he's like, oh bro, I went to therapy recently. And I was like, oh, tell me about it. It's awesome. And he was just telling me, and I was like, that's awesome, man, that's really good. And it was just a normal conversation, which is how it should be. There's nothing wrong with it. I actually think therapy is great. It's just a shame it's quite expensive generally. But it's great. And just to add on about with professional help, so just to mention a bit more specific stuff on that. So, like, learning about, I've got anxiety written here, but generally just learning about mental health with professional help is good. Like, there may be things like you learn, if you, let's say, with anxiety wise, if you're feeling the onset of a panic attack, your therapist might teach you how you can maybe counteract that,
handle
with
it,
a healthier alternative, like maybe a breathing exercise, take a few deep breaths in and all that sort of thing. With counsellors, you can talk through using elements of CBT, which is cognitive behavioural therapy, again, that relates all to the 5 ways of well-being, which we mentioned earlier. Counselors can help you break the cycle of irrational thinking. Irrational thinking leads to irrational thoughts and irrational decision making. I mentioned with a panic attack, but then, for example, that may replace other self-harming habits such as binge eating for comfort with a healthier coping mechanism, which will respond to that trigger of irrational thinking, which, like I said, leads to irrational decision making. So that's just something to let's again encourage people to get professional help when they need it.
Absolutely.
Especially in cases, you know, when you hear these stories, most likely those people didn't. So let's just encourage it, make it more normalized too. So another thing, just to add on, we've spoken about professional help, we've spoken about medication. This maybe relates into university life a bit. Obviously, I know you don't drink or smoke or anything. We mentioned that with your fitness stuff. But so if you are on antidepressants, you should be consuming 0 alcohol. I will say that louder again for the people at the back. If you are on antidepressants, you should be consuming 0 alcohol, as it exacerbates the symptoms of depression.
Yes.
As alcohol itself is a depressant. The same is with marijuana, which is a depressant too. I do not understand why people think this way about antibiotics. You know, they won't drink when they're taking antibiotics, but it is exactly the same with antidepressants. Obviously, maybe there is a side that people don't know they're antidepressants, so their mates are like, have a drink. But just something to mention in there, if you are having periods of feeling low and you drink, or for the countries where this is legal in you smoke marijuana, don't simply don't. So yeah, the next thing I want to ask you,
can I just give a quick shout out to these lovely viewers. Lexi, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate that. Why do you guys keep deleting your messages? Like, we're gonna read the messages, don't delete them. Joanna, thank you so much. It honestly means a lot that you guys are enjoying it. Diana, same to you. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate every single one of you. I know you guys have wrote a lot as we were talking, and I will try and get back to you guys towards the end of the podcast. I don't want to,
to be honest, jump into them now. Jump into them now.
So we have Mohammed saying, I hope you guys can change the culture of mockery and become more approachable, considerate, and mature when it comes to their male friends coming to them with their mental health concerns. 100%.
Lexi, I think your comment's not there, maybe because I don't know how you works with
I don't know
it
how
was the subtle art of not giving a
F.
Great book.
Lexi said, what would you recommend to people who might not have family or friends to support them going through this? What is your guys' opinion on online therapists or support groups?
Thoughts?
And do you think that speaking positively towards your own self and affirmations help you overcome depression? Honest to God, I think talking to anyone, any form of communication will help you tremendously. Like, I didn't have anyone to talk to per se. I was just writing things down on a piece of paper, and it really helped me because I was talking to a notepad, a book, right? A small notebook. So yeah, you could, I don't know a lot about online therapists, but I believe, they're trained professionals, and they could help you overcome a lot of feelings, depression, anxiety, panic attacks even. So I would assume that they're useful. And what was the other question? Do you think that
support groups?
Support groups. Yeah, man. Like, the whole. I didn't know a lot about support groups until I heard of AA. Like, I didn't know these things actually existed, because in Iran we didn't really have these things. And Alcoholic Anonymous or something, right? So having a support group around you with people that are going through the same thing could really make you feel better about yourself and your situation, because you realize that you're not alone in this journey, and there are other people that are going through this with you, and it would allow you to manage things a lot better and feel less sorry about yourself, and
Yeah,
Right.
also like with online therapists, amazing. It's the same as, I mean, maybe present is always generally better with everything. It's up to you. But online therapists, great, easier access, maybe cheaper from anywhere, all that sort of thing. Brilliant. Support groups, again, I think amazing as well. Kind of like we're doing with, I mean, this isn't a support session, we're just talking about awareness. But say you got a group of people, if 10 people give their ways of things that made them feel better, you might relate. If 10 people give their things of how they felt, or all of these things, just talking about experiences, again, you might relate. So all of these things, I think support groups, amazing. So if people who don't have family and friends to speak to, absolutely. Also with support groups, you may make some friends and family from that. So, and they'll be the people to speak to. Same way we said with Amir, that since you posted the video, you had people contacting you. That's exactly what will happen with these support groups, I'm sure. You'll literally meet like-minded individuals. So I think amazing. I think really good, definitely.
Ananya asked, any suggestions on how to destigmatize mental health issues in ethnic communities, considering they don't always feel comfortable following the traditional routes like, therapies and etc.? That's a good question,
Shall I? What's your
so you take it.
All right, so with ethnic communities, first thing, let's speak about the generation above ours. So with our parents and stuff, speak to them about it. It's going to be difficult conversations because it's things that they weren't brought up with. And even with us, I think mental health became more commonly spoke about probably since we were at uni. Yeah. I think probably. I think so, speak to them about this stuff, explain to them how it is, because they don't have, maybe our parents and stuff, they're not as active on social media as we are, and that's a lot of where things are more commonly spoke about in a lot of areas of awareness, whether that's mental health or other things. So speak to them, have those conversations, talk to them about it. I think that's one stage with that generation. With ours, we've just got to take full initiative, because if we take full initiative, that's that bridge between our generation and the lower one. So for example, with us, Amir and my communities, let's say, our friendship circles and online circles, whatever it is, hopefully we'll have more people to speak about, and that's that area of size of just raising awareness actually within two different ethnic communities. If we speak about it, say me, Pakistani, I'm speaking about it on my socials. If I've got any other South Asians following me, they may feel the same way, and then they may speak about it, and that way just essentially just not be the role model, but be the role model, if that makes sense. Just do your part.
Absolutely.
And then when we do it, then the younger generation will speak about it a bit more, and then also if we do it, if we have kids and whatnot, we instill it into them that speak about this stuff. We tell them, and generally with everything, I think that's how it just becomes more normal and natural.
We just have to open that door. It's
literally open that door.
We have to take initiative when it comes to this. You guys are amazing, man. You're asking some incredible questions, and honestly, when we started this podcast, I didn't know how it's gonna go or how interactive it's gonna be, and so far we have 25 people watching this, over 130 views. This is some incredible stuff, guys. So I from the bottom of my heart, I really thank each and every single one of you for being here. And
Ananya was the last comment.
Ananya was the last one. Did that make you withdraw? Let me see. Do you think that social media puts a lot more pressure on people? Do you think that social media puts a lot more pressure on people to look perfect and always look happy, which in a way causes depression in the young generation? That is a wonderful question. That's 100%. I fully agree with this. There is this there's this ideology that you have to always show the perfect side of yourself, even when things are not perfect on social media. There are so many people that just go out to have dinner and take videos of their foods just to show people how happy they are, but deep down they're actually suffering and they're miserable, right? So we have to sort of take a step back and distance ourselves from that part of social media. It's okay for you to share things that are not as family friendly, I should say. Like sometimes talking about mental health isn't considered a family friendly thing, like, you know, suicide and self-harm and things like that. These are serious things that always happen to a lot of people that are going through mental health, mental illness. So yeah, definitely social media puts a tremendous amount of pressure on people to look perfect when things are not perfect, you know.
One thing to add on that, for those who are more active on social media, it's actually another side that maybe we didn't touch on. It's also all right just to go off the grid if you need to. Like, it's totally all right.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know, it's fine. Like when we're saying about looking happy, some people may feel a pressure that, oh, I need to post something to look like I'm happy, look like I'm doing something, look like I'm having a cool, fun life. It's all right not to. You don't have to. There's no pressure on that side. Just something. I think people feel that, but yeah.
You know, actually, when I had the fitness page, right, on Instagram, for some reason, I was putting myself under so much pressure to post every single day at 8 p.m., right? Because I wanted to grow the page. And I would put so much unnecessary stress and pressure on myself to, you know, put content out.
Yeah.
And after a while, it started affecting me negatively, right? It started like draining me mentally. So it's absolutely okay, and I highly recommend that you do that every once in a while. Like, if you don't want to deactivate your Instagram, just delete the app, or just don't go on it, and recharge your battery, and then go back. You will feel, you will see the difference that it would make to your mental health, 100%. Yeah. Okay, let's continue with.
All right,
with
so
the thing is, and then we'll go back.
To relate this to AIMS, which is who I'm representing, the Association of International Medical Students at our university, the Medical University of Pleven in Bulgaria. We have a welfare department who, again, I'm representing today. We offer confidential support to students. We speak about mental health and, you know, all this sort of thing. So, Amir, it's a very open question, no problem if you didn't. But I just want to ask if you did contact AIMS, and if you didn't, then what could AIMS do in the future to maybe be more approachable, or to make you feel more comfortable to contact them?
I didn't really have any. I didn't contact AIMS at all when I was going through issues, because honestly, I didn't know. By the way, be as honest about this as possible. I personally, these are things we need to know for taking in. I personally didn't know that AIMS provides confidential support when it comes to things like this. Maybe because I'm not active on actual social media, like going through posts and stuff. So I didn't really know. So yeah, I didn't make any contacts with AIMS. And what could they do to?
That's very interesting, by the way.
Honestly, I think that they should encourage people to come forward and talk about their mental health, or if they're going through anxiety and depression, especially, you know, all of us are coming from different parts of the world to a foreign country. Most of us, even the young, the first years and stuff, they don't speak the language. They don't know anything about anything, and they're far away from family. Some of them aren't even able to go back home because they live in Australia or New Zealand or something, right? So it's not like us. We could just take a 3-hour flight to the UK. So not having that support system near them could drastically affect their mental health, especially dealing with the workload that we know is required in first and especially second year of med school, right? That could put you in a really horrible spot. I had a friend of mine, right, who repeated the year a couple of times because of this, right? We were there for him. We were there for him consistently, right? We tried to help him as much as we can. He's all right now. Like, he's continuing his education in a different uni. But I believe if there was a system put in place 5 years ago, right, that would help students, not necessarily with their education, but with things that would affect their education, like mental health, depression, loneliness, and things like that. That a lot of people would experience this medical school journey a lot better. So yeah, encourage people publicly, like on posts, stories, to come forward, have support groups or
support groups, nice.
Confidential support, as you mentioned, because as I said, a lot of people don't want to talk.
By the way, I'm not taking notes.
No.
I'm gonna take notes.
Yes. No. Do your thing, man.
This is really good.
Because a lot of people honestly wouldn't want to come forward and talk because of the whole stigma around, especially guys, around talking about your feelings and mental health. So if people see on their social media feeds, in the stories, that this is something normal, I guarantee you they will come forward and DM Ames to talk about it, and it would help them out tremendously.
Do you know what's interesting, man? So we offer confidential support, and we have done since I've been in Pleven. But you raise a really good point that we've, like, the advertisement on that specifically, like, let's say I've been part of Ames for a few years now, so I guess I've assumed that people know this, but that's not true. So that's really, really good, like, really good you mentioned. We'll make sure, like, going forward, Ames do advertise that more regularly, because maybe it's things someone might have missed the post a month ago. Just keep posting that, 'cause that's probably the most important thing that Ames Welfare do, is offer confidential support. Not there as to give professional help, but there is, like, on a student's capacity, what we can
just
do.
have someone.
That's really good. The support groups idea, that's brilliant. I love that. I absolutely love that. So I'll forward this through to the team. That's really good. Thanks for that, man.
No,
really,
it's my
really,
pleasure, man.
really, really
Thank
good
you.
ideas.
I appreciate you.
I have a question now. So Amir, how are you?
Could be better, man. Could be better, but I'm hoping that within the next week or so, things will be a lot better. Because personally, I'm okay. In my personal life, like here in Pleven, I'm okay. But my family is sort of struggling with a couple of things, right? And it's affecting their mental health, which is, as a result, affecting mine. Because although I'm in a different country, but I'm responsible for a lot of things, like business wise, family wise. Like, I have to do a lot of things, and just to see my family struggle puts me in a bad mood, in a dark spot. And but I'm working on it. Like, I'm aware of it, I'm conscious of the problem, and I'm taking steps to fix it, right? For example, like yesterday, I didn't really feel like doing anything. I didn't go to the gym, I didn't do anything. I just stayed home and just rested.
That's all right, bud.
That's absolutely fine.
All right,
you know, for the first few hours after I woke up, I was feeling really bad because I was having a very unproductive day, right? But then I was like, it's okay. It's okay to just cool off and relax for a little bit. Just we constantly put this huge amount of pressure on ourselves that we have to constantly be doing things. But it's absolutely fine for you to just lay in your bed one day, just to relax, give your body time, give your mind some time to heal, or to categorize the ideas you have in your head, so that then the following day you could push forward. So yeah,
form of self-care anyway.
Absolutely,
just doing nothing. That's good, man.
Thanks for asking, man.
No worries, bro. I've got one last little thing to wrap up, but if there's anything you want to talk about, or any of the messages or anything.
Yeah, sure. We could read some messages. Nadia saying, I love the podcast. Thank you so much. Yeah, you guys are amazing. Osman saying, I need alcohol support group, I guess. Oh, you do, man. Like, I know. I speak to you, and you're a funny guy, but I do believe that you will benefit from this. But I love you. Joanna, such an amazing people. You guys are amazing.
Is that one of our teachers?
No. Yeah. Andrea, I just want to say I'm glad I found the channel.
That's so nice. Thank you.
You guys are amazing. Thank you. Honestly, bro, listen. I want to this whole idea has been in the works for how long now? Like
a long time, man.
Long time, right? And we had a different idea. We wanted to just do a little quick video and put it out in different segments. But then we came together and said, let's do a podcast, right? And I've never done a podcast. You guys know, like I've done live streams before, but I've never done a two-man.
You said you got 2 mics. I was like, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I was like, we could do this, and this could possibly work. And judging by the numbers and your guys' comments, I'm very, very humbled and happy to know that you relate to this and you find this useful and valuable. So thank you so much to you guys. Andrea, also don't push. If the person is not ready for it, make sure to let them know you're there for whenever they are.
Very true.
100%.
That's just, relating to when we were saying about how to approach friends. Another one on that one, actually. Just some things I was reading on that earlier. A few tips on how to approach a friend. Maybe speak to them one-on-one in a comfortable place. If you go to that friend's house, that's a great way to do it. Like if I was to speak to Amir and I knew something's going on, great way to do it is just come to his house in the comfort of his place, not around anyone. Just a few tips on that, but yeah.
Lexi, don't you think that there's a stigma on medical professionals that they have to always have a perfect mental health? So a lot of people are afraid to share because of it.
Interesting.
Yeah, actually, I read something. I don't know if I took a screenshot of this, but I read something that the suicide rates amongst doctors are the highest within like all professions.
Never thought of that, and it makes sense.
Yeah, and that's a very good question, because I'm not currently working as a doctor, right? But I know people around me, and I know the level of dedication and time and energy it takes to work in that field. Like you're gonna be working long hours with like close to no rest. So I do think there's
I think that makes sense. That makes total sense to me. Yeah, I can see that. It's the first time I've heard that. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because
I know some like friends who are doctors and stuff, just friends anyway, undergone like mental health issues and stuff.
Yeah.
And they've spoken to friends about it, but they've not spoken publicly about it. Maybe they're not outspoken on this sort of thing anyway, but that is very interesting.
Yeah.
It's a perspective I didn't really consider. So it's a really good point.
It kind of makes society think you are not good for the job. I agree.
Sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Joanna, loving this. Alejandra, love the podcast. You guys are killing it, man. Wishing you the very best, because you deserve all of it and more. Thank you so much. Sarah, love it. You guys are amazing. Let me just go back a little bit, because as we were talking, you guys asked a lot of questions. Did I miss anything?
ADHD comment, I don't think.
My 12-year-old had to start antidepressants this year along with ADHD meds. It's a hard conversation with the doc, but a lot of us have been there.
We wish your 12-year-old all the best.
Yes. If you're still here,
all the best.
If you're still here, I think he or she will be absolutely fine, having a good mother like you.
100%.
I think we answered a bunch of questions. Yeah.
Should I get into my wrap-up point?
Sure, man.
So my closing statement, if we should call it that. So I've got a snippet from Amir when he was 21 years old.
Oh.
So I was a 12-year-old, in quotes, with very low self-esteem, depressed, and I didn't have any friends. First thing to tick on that, I just want to relate these things to now of what I can observe. Amir has very good friends now, so that's something to mention. He said, I was bullied a lot in school because of my weight, my appearance, my ethnic background, and my religion. First thing with regards to weight and appearance, Amir is wham now, as you can see. So there's nothing to have low self-esteem about there, hopefully. Like I said, I know it's all subjective, but just to mention, my ethnic background and my religion, I know Amir speaks very passionately about his culture. So again, it's no shyness about that now. I was disadvantaged because English was not my first language. I didn't actually know that until today. So yeah, I wasn't familiar with the rules. Rules, culture, and basically the environment I was living in. My family was going through a lot of problems, and it was making things more difficult for me. However, I somehow found the courage to fight and pull myself together. Again, kudos to Amir. He's still doing that today.
Thank you.
I worked hard in school. He's working hard at university. He became so likable that bullies couldn't bully him anymore. I became so likable that bullies couldn't bully me anymore, and I finally became the vice captain of my school. I became a writer, poet, producer, and performer, which allowed me to express myself and not feel depressed anymore. I got into bodybuilding, and it tremendously boosted my self-esteem. I managed to obtain a degree in biomedical science. Just a point to add, he's a year away from becoming a medical doctor. Inshallah.
And my guy is graduating soon.
Something those bullies couldn't do. I did not rely on pills and medication to help me with depression, low self-esteem, and anxiety. I used my brain and body to fight them. Never let life problems, bullies, and family problems influence the way you live your life, because your family won't be here forever. Those bullies won't be in your life forever, and problems fade away and get resolved. Stay strong, stay positive, and never lose hope. I know it sounds cheesy, but it's true. So,
wow, man. Damn, I wrote. Damn, I think I know this post. Yeah, I think I wasn't feeling the best that day. I think I was in my car, and I just took a little selfie, and just to show how I would like. I don't know if I have the picture, but it was. I think I archived it, but yeah, it. Being in a dark spot allowed me to sort of reflect on what I managed to achieve. Like, okay, I got the degree, I got into bodybuilding, rapping, and stuff. So I can move past this whatever thing I was feeling, and it made me write this, hoping somebody would relate to this. And I'm thankful you brought this up, man. Thank you so much for that. Oof. 21, freaking 29 soon, man. Damn. Oof. The pressure, the pressure. Being an Iranian man, I don't know about you, but some of us, some families in Iran, they're gonna be like, so when are you gonna get married? Of
course.
When are you gonna have kids? I'm like, bro, just let me live my life.
Yeah.
That was interesting, man. That took me back. That was cool. Yeah. Damn, bro. This was a very interesting conversation that we had.
This had to happen. Literally, we were saying, like Amir was saying earlier, that we've spoken about doing some stuff, and we've spoken a bit over message. Amir was like, I've got a video, I can send a snippet. I was like, yeah, I'll check it after my exam. I just kept delaying it, and whatever, back and forth. We're both busy. My tenure in AIMS finishes this weekend, so I was gonna pass it on to my team to be like, can you do it with Amir? I said to him, I was like, I'm gonna get someone else. Actually, I was like, I can't do that.
We had to do this, man.
I can't do that.
We had to do this.
So we managed to squeeze it in.
Yeah.
Really hope, again, if this has helped even one person. Amir said he's going to make little snippets, and we'll post it on, I don't know, on Amir's social media.
Anywhere.
Post it on our AIM social media.
Yeah.
I'll get Amir to tag us in the info box. But thank you, and Amir, thanks for having me over, man.
Bro,
thanks for sharing, bro.
Thank you
I love that, man.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate your time. Thank you for being here. Thank you to you guys in the chat. Lexi, praying for all the best. Praying for all the best upon your family. Many blessings. Thank you so much. That's really, really kind of you guys. I hope
little cheeky shout out to my sister.
Oh yeah,
who's a psychologist, and she's been giving me gems to drop in. She
Amazing.
was talking me through, this is the right way to say this is the right way, and all that sort of thing. she's actually mentioned, just with medical professionals, how little psych is spoken about. So RP, thank you. Some gems.
That's incredible, man. That's truly amazing. I'm honest to God, I'm speechless. Like, I've had this podcast logo made I've made it a long time ago.
MantiCortex is
Cortex.
very good.
I was like,
It's
cortex,
very
cerebral
good, by
cortex,
the way.
right? It's a
Very
little,
good.
little
Very
play on the
good.
words, right? And this was the right opportunity to kickstart this. This was a very important conversation to have, because I know, because a lot of these people actually follow me on social media, and I know about some of their struggles. So I know that they will benefit from this, knowing that someone, I'm not gonna say someone like me, right, but someone who is open, who is out here, right, is willing to talk about this, right, is willing to be vulnerable and express himself, express the issues that talk about the issues that I went through as a kid, and blah 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 blah. So guys, if you ever want to talk to anyone, right, I'm not a therapist or anything, but I do know how much talking about things can help battle certain things, depression, anxiety, and stuff. So if you ever want to talk to anyone, you have my Instagram. You could always
Same here.
same
Hit me up. I'm here. If you need to talk, just drop us a message.
I will I need to put your socials on the screen as well, so people can follow. Please get in contact with us and just talk. It's okay. It's a safe area. There's no judgment. Nobody's ever gonna talk about you, or because the thing that you mentioned, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes people decide to become vulnerable and express themselves, but they do that in front of the wrong people.
Yeah.
Right? And those people start talking to others,
Doing it in the future,
to others about it, right? And that puts them off from doing it in the future. So I'm saying, if you ever want to talk, we're here for you. If you're a medical student or not, doesn't matter. Whatever the case may be, please get in contact and just vent, just talk. It's absolutely fine. And I'm really happy that the podcast or the live stream did extremely amazing. Like we had 30 likes, 162 views, the average view duration 13 minutes. So we had a decent conversation with you guys, and you were very interactive, and for that I thank you. So if you have ideas of I don't know, topics for future podcasts, let me know in the comments. And yeah, I really appreciate you. Any other thing you want to?
Thank you, especially to the people who are still here.
Yeah,
I'm impressed. Thank you.
Almost 2 hours, man. That's This is sick.
Thank you.
Guys, thank you so much. If you haven't liked the stream or the video, please make sure you do so. If you want to share this with others, by all means. And another thing I want to mention, we've hit 9,560 subscribers. What the hell is going on? We gained like 20, 30 new people when we started the podcast. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much, guys. Chasadoni, GP Singh, Nadia, Ananya, Alejandra, Vaishak, Lexi, Sarah, everyone who's here. Thank you so much. And I will see you guys in the next podcast. My name is Amir. This is my lovely friend Aswad. And I will see you guys in the next one. Take care of yourself. Peace.